afternoon from a sunny Clonakilty here in the heart of West Cork for today's TG4 Ladies Senior Football Championship Round 3 clash between Cork and Tipperary. My name is Jeremy McCarthy and I'm your commentator for the afternoon in a must-win game for both teams. Both Cork and Tipperary in Group 4 have already lost to Galway, and Galway are through to this year's All-Ireland quarter-finals. The winners of today's encounter will join them in the last 8, and the draw for that particular championship quarter-finals will take place later this evening. It's a very sunny day, as I said, but there is a strong wind blowing from the town end, and it looks like Waterford, who won the toss, will have the advantage of that wind in the opening half. A big crowd are already streaming in here to the Clonakilty Ahamilla Complex venue, and this is the second time that Clonakilty have hosted a big match event. But let's take a quick check now on the two teams that will do battle this afternoon in a must-win game, as we said, for both Cork and Tipperary, starting with the Rebels. And a lot of emphasis as well in the build-up to this match, of course, on the dual players for both teams, and two of those dual players will play for the Cork footballers today. The other two will line out for the Cork Camogie team against Clare. Cork line out as follows: in goal, Maeve O'Sullivan from Mourneabbey; full back line of Melissa Duggan, Emer Meany and Roisin Phelan, and Orion Shauna Kelly and Laura Mahoney, the usual half back line. Midfield, Maura Callan is joined by Hannah Looney, and O'Callaghan captains the team. The half forward line has one change. Katie Quirk from Bride Rovers is injured. She's replaced by Emma Cleary, and either side of her, Ciara O'Sullivan, Dara Kiley, and a full forward line with Darren O'Sullivan, Emer Kiley, joined by another dual player back from injury, Éire Oaks, Orla Cahalan. So plenty of attacking endeavour in that particular Cork lineup. The big talking point, I suppose, in the build-up, of course, was about the dual players and who would feature, but it is Hannah Looney and, as I said, Orla Cahalan who will line out for Cork today, and the other two, Aoife Healy and Libby Coppinger, lining out for the Cork senior camogie team away to Clare at 3 o'clock. Huge crowd in, as we said, as well, to support the Cork footballers today, and they'll be hoping for a win, but they'll have their work cut out for them against a Tipperary team that will have no fear of Cork and have played them on numerous occasions in the past. And the Tipperary team, much like the Cork team, settled all through the year, did manage to win a game in the Munster Championship, but put up 3 fantastic performances and were unlucky not to take 1, if not 2 wins. Peter Creedon is a Ross Carbery native from just out the road, and he has picked the following team. In goal, Lauren Fitzpatrick; full back line of Elaine Kelly, Lucy Spillane and Emma Cronin; half back line of Maria Curley, Laura Morrissey and Clean O'Dwyer; midfield, the usual pairing of Nasa Tui and Emma Morrissey. One change on the half forward line. Maureen Murphy is replaced by number 19 Caitlin Downey, and either side of Caitlin, Sarah English, Clara English, and a full forward line of Angela McGuigan, Niamh Martin and Aisling Maloney. So they're the two teams. We're all set to get going here at a sun-kissed Clonakilty, and now we will stand through attention for our round of Ian. There you have it, the national anthem beautifully sung ahead, as we said, of a must-win game for both Cork and Tipperary here in Clonakilty, in front of a huge attendance, with the crowd still coming in this Group 4 encounter. Referee as well for this afternoon is from County Carlow, and that's Jonathan Murphy. He and his officials will be overseeing a big game for both sides, as we said. Both sides looking to get into the last 8 of this year's All-Ireland Senior Football Championship here in sunny West Cork. As I said, it's about 22 degrees, but there is quite a stiff breeze blowing down from the town end, and it's a big day for the Clonakilty GA Club because this is the second time they've hosted a high-profile LGFA game this year. Earlier on in the Munster Championship, Munster LGFA group game between Cork and Waterford went off without a hitch, and there's no reason today shouldn't do exactly the same. You can see on screen there the flag for a cross on the far side of the pitch, showing just how strong the wind is, and it seems to be blowing in all sorts of different directions. Now, we know Waterford won the toss and they've elected to go with the wind, or as the wind was blowing at that time. We'll see if that was the right decision quite shortly. As I said, it's a big day for Clonakilty GA Club, LGFA and Camogie. Real community effort behind the scenes here to pull this off, as they did in the Munster LGFA Championship game between Cork and Waterford. That was successfully run, and the main stand is all but full as we head towards throw-in. And the other side of things, of course, from today is, as we mentioned, Galway have already emerged from Group 4, top of that group with victories. They beat Cork 3-11 to 1-11 and beat Tipperary 4-10 to 3-4. So with Galway into the last 8, this final group game basically gives both Munster teams an opportunity to get into that last 8 of a championship. Already today, Kerry and Cavan threw in at 12:30, and the other two, the last two of the 4 quarterfinals, will take place later this evening as well, to see who gets into what's been a really open championship thus far. There's no out-and-out favourite, in my opinion anyway, but we'll know a lot more by the end of this evening. Mayo Unleashed at Hastings Insurance McHale Park, and then of course Meath and Donegal at Park Talton, and it's after that Meath Donegal match that we'll know, when the draw is completed, who faces who in this year's All-Ireland Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. You can see there the Cork team warming up and going through the last of their warm-ups in front of a very big crowd. As we said, the Clonakilty pitch as well is in excellent condition, and it's a big day for all these players. They were disappointed with the performance the last day out against Galway, and they'll be certainly looking to improve on that. And two players, of course, who've, along with their other two dual players who've been heavily in the news, of course, in the build-up to this game, Orla Cahalane, back from what we were led to believe initially was going to be quite a long-term injury. Thankfully, the diagnosis wasn't the case. She's back in the pitch. And Hannah Looney, you can see in shot there, number 9, such a huge component of this Cork team. Shane Renane's side, she's lining out as well this year. Has had a very consistent year, in around the middle or half forward, a versatile player who can drop into those positions for Cork, vital in helping them link a very tough tackling defence, which has done very, very well for them this year, with an attack, of course, and that full forward line. Emer Kiley, the Valley Rovers, having a terrific season. Darren O'Sullivan back to her best from Ornaby, and number 13, the Ayr Og corner forward on the ball there now, as you can see, Orla Cahalane. Big day for her as well, as we said, back from that injury that looked like it was going to rule her out for a good chunk of the remainder of the season. Thankfully, that's not the case. She forms a 3-pronged attack, as we said, with Darren O'Sullivan, Emer Kiley. Lots of goals in that attack, and Cork and Shane Ronayne will certainly be hoping for those goals today. They're going to need them, because this is a really good Tipperary team that have played Cork, as we said, in the Munster Championship in Cahir. Obviously, one of their standout players is Aisling Maloney. The majority of the scores come from Aisling. But this Cork defence is used to facing Tipperary. They've seen them before, and they will start as favourites. The conditions, again, as we said, are going to be a factor. It's warm, it's humid, but that big wind going from one side of the pitch to the other looks like it's going to favour Waterford in the opening half, and then possibly Cork, depending on how it goes in the second half. As we said, the wind in Clonakilty can be very strange. Sometimes it makes its own mind up and goes from whatever end it wants. Now, we're hearing a ripple of applause from the crowd, and that means the arrival of the Tipperary team, receiving a warm welcome on their trip here to West Cork. Big day for them, as we said. Coming down here, needing to win to be absolutely certain of progressing in the championship. A loss, as we said, will end their particular season. One change as well on that team. Number 19, Caitlin Downey from Boherlan Douala replaces the injured Maureen Murphy, and it's going to be interesting to see where she lines out. Now, we're also seeing on screen there at the moment number 29, Anna Rose Kennedy from Maherlow. So she may well be added to the starting lineup, but a very, very versatile player, and a player with an eye for goal as well. And she wasn't listed to start, but it looks like she's out there now at the moment, so it looks like she's going to start as well for Tipperary, and that's an important moment for Peter Creedon because she's a player with a lot of experience and somebody, as we say, with an eye for goal. Interesting to see where she lines up, if she lines up, because she wasn't listed on the starting 15, but she's out there at the moment, and it looks like that she is actually going to start right from the beginning. So we're only a couple of minutes away now from throw, and Tipperary going into a pre-match team huddle. Big day for them today. Underdogs in this particular game, I think it's fair to say. They had a very, very good National League Division 2. Just missed out on appearance in the final on head-to-head against Laois, who eventually lost Armagh in the final. But this is a good, solid team with a lot of experience in it and are used to playing Cork and have played Cork on numerous occasions in the past. They'll have no fear of Cork, but they'll respect them. And on the opposite side of the pitch, Shane Runane and his Cork team, desperate to get up to that into that last 8. They've just come out of their huddle, as you can see there. They look ready for battle. They're going to line out, as we said, as selected. Katie Quirk, though, from Bride Rovers, she's a big loss. She's had a really, really good year for Cork on the 40, and when she's not scoring, she's linking and creating a lot of havoc in opposing defences as well. It'll be interesting to see how her replacement, Emma Cleary, goes from Aero Club. Another very versatile player, may drop back into that midfield position, or maybe she'll just stay up front. We're going to find out very shortly as we get ready for throwing ahead of today's TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship Group 4 Round 3 clash here at beautiful Clonakilty in Ahamella. Referee Jonathan Murphy just taking a final check on both sets of players, where they are and lining up, and we can see now as well. Here we go, the ball is thrown in and off we go, and it's Tipperary who are up and running, gaining possession immediately from the throw-in, and that is number 15, Aisling Maloney, the big danger player. She lets it inside to number 8, Emma Morrissey. Morrissey takes a shot, and there's the opening score inside the first minute. Best possible start that Tipperary could have hoped for, and it's an opening point for them straight from the throw-in. Aisling Maloney feeding number 8, Emma Morrissey, and that is the opening score. As we said, for the Cork go short from the kick out. Dohenny's Melissa Duggan gaining possession and feeds it wide to her centre back. And now here's Emma Cleary's first touch for her, playing very deep initially. Another fist pass, and that's gone to Maura O'Callaghan, and she finds her midfield teammate Hannah Looney, and she releases the ball out wide where Anna Ryan is there, and also number 12 with a heavily strapped leg, that's Ciara O'Sullivan from Mourneabbey. Cork retaining possession patiently, going through the hands and moving the ball across the pitch. This is the way they like to approach the games. They have conceded the first point, but they're very, very happy to retain possession. Tipperary have all bar 2 players back inside their own half, going defensive as they should initially. And here we go, Hannah Looney releasing Laura O'Mahony, the O'Donovan Rossa player, lets the ball back inside. The referee said there was a push, and that is going to be a free to Cork. Within shooting distance, I'd say from distance, and Darren O'Sullivan, who's had a terrific season since coming back from long-term injury, the Mourneabbey star, back to her best in full fitness. She's going to line this one up now and see, and she's gone short instead. The ball is fed inside, and it comes back to her again from Ciara O'Sullivan. Darren with a tight angle, oh, comes back off the post, and it's a goal. Emer Kiley from Valley Rovers on point, immediately reacting, superb reflexes. Darren O'Sullivan's initial effort, as you can see, coming back off the post, and there is Emer Kiley to finish to the back of the net, and there Cork are up and running, and a good stroke of luck for them. Emer Kiley with the goal from close range to give Cork a 1-0 1 point lead early in this game. And as we said, Darren O'Sullivan's initial effort coming back off the upright, and that's a real blow for Tipperary, who had started quite confidently. And now can Cork kick on? Here's Emma Cleary immediately moving the ball forward to Maura O'Callaghan. Back to Cleary, another 1-2 between the two players, and the Cork captain takes the ball deep into Tipperary territory, looks for an opening, and instead comes back outside. As we said, this is what Cork like to do. They like to retain possession, move the ball, and their opposing defence wide if they can. Emer Kiley's back on it just a couple of seconds after her goal. She releases the ball here now, and it looks like Maura O'Callaghan's coming in from the side, and a shot and a goal. It's our second goal within 2 minutes. Maura O'Callaghan thumping it into the back of the net. A second goal for Cork. Very, very, very patient build up. O'Callaghan taking her time, picking her spot and finding the back of the net. Brilliant start for Cork. Disaster for Tipperary. 2 goals to 1 point after only 3 minutes here on the clock. The best possible start Cork could have hoped for, and Tipperary now really need to get their hands on the ball. Instead, it's Laura O'Mahony bursting forward. She lets the ball in. Dara Kiley, twin sister of Emer, lets the ball inside again to Hannah Toomey. Evades a tackle, evades a second one. Has she gone too far? She attempts a shot. It's up, it's high, and it is over the bar. Marvellous score from the Jewel player. Hannah Looney extending Cork's lead 2-1 to 0-1. And we have yet had 5 minutes play. Superb score from the midfielder. Good approach work. Cork gaining control from the Tipperary kick out. And now Tipperary correctly slowing things down. Lauren Fitzpatrick, the Ballymacarby goalkeeper, taking her time. It's been a really, really disappointing start for them. Inside 4 minutes, they find themselves 6 points down. They've gone short with the kick out, which I think is the right choice. And now they're going to move the ball through the hands. But Orla Callahan putting pressure on the goalkeeper. That's loose, and it's picked up by Ciara O'Sullivan. Ciara O'Sullivan inside to her sister and Mornaby teammate Darren O'Sullivan. Back into Ciara. Ciara's got one thing in her mind, and she puts it over the bar. Could have been another goal, but Ciara elected to take the point when the opportunity was on. And that extends Cork's lead inside 5 minutes. Cork 2-2. Tipperary point. We've got a Tipperary player down injured following that last effort from Ciara O'Sullivan. She cut in, taking a pass from her sister Darren O'Sullivan. Could have been a goal, shot inches over the crossbar, rising all the way. And it is Cork who have gotten off to the best possible start. Disaster for Tipperary because they started confidently with a point inside the first minute from Emma Morrissey, straight from the throw-in, but immediately afterwards Cork went up another gear. Darren O'Sullivan finding Emer Kiley after her initial shot came back off the post. Kiley from close range. Then Maura Callan firing into the roof of the net. And since then, Hannah Looney and Ciara Sullivan extended that lead. It looks like Laura Morrissey, who was down injured for Tipperary, thankfully is okay and can continue on. But those first 5 minutes, what a performance from Cork, really taking the sting out of Tipperary's challenge and what will be Tip's response. Another long kick out does not go to hand, and Cork immediately bounce. Emma Cleary straight on the ball, hand passes it up the line. Here comes Dara Kiley, the Valley Rovers half forward in full flight, looks inside, finds a pass. Oh, it's a good ball, and a foul on Emer, her sister. That's going to be a free, and Tipperary now really reeling from that disastrous start, as we said, 2-2 to a point behind into the 6th minute. And Cork could not have asked for a better start. A chance now for Darren O'Sullivan to line up this free right in front of goal, and a chance to extend her team's advantage. Orla Callahan looks for a shot and actually takes it short. Tip went to sleep. Callahan, goal! Oh dear, and Tipperary are now just all at sea. It's 3-2 to a point. A quick thinking Darren O'Sullivan free. Straight to Orla Callahan, and that is in the back of the net. And you can just see that the confidence is shot in this Tip team. They got off to such a good start, positive start. They just need to retain the position, but once again they don't do that. Rushing feeling. They had a player bursting through from midfield. She feeds it wide to Laura Manny from O'Donovan Rossa. Hannah Looney looking for her, takes the pass, retains possession, slows it down, and Tipperary looking to reset. That ball does not go to hand, and Cork still recycling it. Phelan playing way up the pitch. She finds Emma Cleary on to Maura Callahan, and Tipperary now trying to reset, trying to get numbers behind the ball and just stem this constant stream of Cork attacks. A good 1-2 between Darren O'Sullivan and Anna Ryan. Well, this is now getting out of hand for Tipperary. Emma Ryan with an absolutely brilliant goal, a 1-2 with Darren O'Sullivan. And we have less than just on 7 minutes played. It's Tip 1 point, Cork 4 goals and 2. And this is not the start that I think anyone envisaged. I think we know that Tipperary are a very good team. They've shown that this year, but they have been absolutely blown away by this Cork start, really setting down a marker, and they're not finished yet. Moving the ball back deep into Tipperary territory. Ciara O'Sullivan being dragged, and that's going to be a free. Inside the first 7 minutes, we've had an Emer Kiley goal, we've had a Maura Callahan goal, Orla Callahan, and now Anna Ryan, the other Mornaby player, has added to Cork's total. 4-2 to 0-1, just coming up on 8 minutes. And it's really hard going for Tip, and such a disappointment for them. As we said, they came in here today as underdogs. They were going to need a good start. They got that from Morrissey's point, but since then it's been nothing but Cork. Darren O'Sullivan converts the free. The Mornaby full forward making no mistake from the free. 4-3 to Cork, 0-1 to Tip. And really now, Tip just need to reset. They need to take a deep breath, try and keep possession, retain the ball for as long as they can, and get down the other end of the pitch. They haven't been there since the opening minute. They go to their key player, Aisling Maloney, who was pushed by Emer Meany, the fullback, who's tracking her all over the pitch. And referee Jonathan Murphy giving a free there. Tipperary have the ball now, as we said, deep in their own half, going through the hands, and this is the right thing to do. Niamh Martin on the ball now. She looks up, but is there anybody there for her? There is, and that is number 19, the player that we said that came in from the start, Caitlin Downey. Good move as well inside now to full forward Niamh Martin, deep in their own territory, and this is what Tip have to do. Keep the ball, keep it in hand, and just keep Cork away from their goal for a couple of minutes and regain some confidence. Long pass from Maloney. Looks for and finds Clara English. Yardman turns back inside. The ball is worked across to centre-back Laura Morrissey. She in turn finds Emma Morrissey from Aherlow, and the Aherlow player brilliantly splits the post for their second point. So well done to Emma Morrissey. That's her second point of the afternoon. The midfielder, one of the few bright spots for Tip so far, and she did very, very well there from distance to land the ball over the bar, as we said. And already, though, you have to say, inside 9 minutes, it's damage limitation now for Tipperary. Down 4-3 to 0-2. A blistering start from Cork, which has really put this game on its head. Short kick out from the Cork goalkeeper finds number 7 Laura O'Mahony, and Cork once again patiently working the ball through the hands and trying to go down the middle of this Tipperary team. Emma Cleary has been dropping back from her centre forward position and linking up the play. Here's Ciara O'Sullivan, that leg heavily strapped. The Mornaby Ace has had a fantastic season as well. Dodges past 2 defenders, finds Emma Cleary. Another opening for Cork. It's Hannah Looney, and Looney makes no mistake. Good score from her. 4-4 for Cork now. Hannah Looney taking her total to 1-1 already inside this opening quarter. Fantastic to see such a big crowd as well, as we said, in here in the Clonakilty venue today. They've already held a high profile game earlier in the season. That was the Waterford and Cork Munster LGFA Championship match, which Cork won. And today already we're seeing that the supporters are being treated to a really, really good Cork performance. They lead 4-4 to 0-2. Now, here come Tip again. Aisling Maloney on the ball, taking it deep, deep into Cork territory. She finds Sarah English. What can the Ardfinding player do? She turns back and unloads that ball to Emma Morrissey, who's been Tip's best player thus far. Retaining the ball, they work the ball out wide now to Caitlin Downey, who finds a deep line Niamh Martin, who's nowhere near her full forward position, having to come deep, and that looks like a foul, and it is. It's going to be a quick free. It is, quick tap, and they work the ball to number Clara English, and that's blocked brilliantly. That attempted point was fantastically blocked by Roisin Phelan, one of Cork's stalwart defenders. She's a bit winded after, not surprising. Full length block to deny Tipperary a third point there. And the had a forward. What a player she is, what a defender she is, putting in a terrific block. But it looks like she may have winded herself in the process. And instead of Tipperary ratcheting up the third point of the afternoon, instead they're going to have a 45. So it's not the start Tipperary wanted. It's certainly the start Shane Renane was looking for. 4-4 to 0-2, just gone past the 11-minute mark. And there's not much more you can say, except no team could have lived with Cork in that opening few minutes. First teamer Kylie, then Maura O'Callaghan, and then Ciara O'Sullivan helping set up, getting a point along with Hannah Looney before Doireann O'Sullivan, who's been very instrumental setting up Orla Cahalane for Cork's third goal, and then Anna Ryan bursting through for Cork's fourth green flag of the afternoon. The goalkeeper for Tipperary is coming way up the pitch. That's Lauren Fitzpatrick. I assume that's to take the 45. I don't think they're going all out attacking just Tipperary. As we said, not the start they were looking for. Really disappointing for them to concede 4 goals inside the opening 7 minutes. It's just an uphill struggle as it was, and now it really is damage limitation for the next few minutes. But they have settled, in fairness to them. They've gained a bit of possession around the middle of the field, and Emma Morrissey grabbing their second point. And if goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick could land this 45, it would be their third point coming up to the quarter hour mark. But it's definitely Cork in the driving seat. As we said, those 4 early goals have Cork now in a very, very comfortable position. Goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick lines it up. It's going to drop short where Roisin Phelan gathers possession. She's the player that made the block initially. She's under a bit of pressure, finds her goalkeeper, who in turn puts her, that's Maeve O'Sullivan, who puts Maura Callan under a bit of pressure. Quick hand pass to Hannah Looney, who has been all over the pitch already in this game. and she solos up the sideline looking for a free Cork player and finds one. And it is Emer Kiley moving very, very well. Here's Anna Ryan. She's been bursting forward at every opportunity. A quick hand pass inside, finds Darren O'Sullivan, takes a heavy knock. Cork keep moving the ball at pace. Hannah Looney, a 1-2. And once again, it's Emer Kiley who's brought down and by the goalkeeper, Lauren Fitzpatrick, and the referee is awarding a penalty. And unfortunately, that looks like a very, very heavy knock for the Cork forward who's gone down injured. And yes, she is certainly in a bit of distress there. That's unfortunate for Cork, but Cork once again coming from deep, moving the ball through the hand expertly and up to the other end of the ground, and it would have been another goal, you would imagine, for Emer Kiley, except Lauren Fitzpatrick coming out from the Tipperary goal to foul and bring her down, and that now is a penalty. Now the referee is consulting with his two umpires to see what, I don't know, is it going to be something more serious, but it looks like Cork now unfortunately have a very serious injury. And that's really disappointing for Emer Kiley. She was playing so well all the way through this early game. Jonathan Murphy there, the referee, as we said, consulting with his umpires, having a chat with the Tipperary goalkeeper. That's all that's needed, I think. So a foul on the Cork corner forward, look, could well have ended her participation in today's game earlier than expected. We hope it's not too serious, but it's an opportunity now for Tipperary just to reset and take stock, because they are 4-4 to 0-2 behind at the quarter hour mark in this TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship clash. As we look back now again over that opening 10 minutes, what a performance it was. And yeah, it was an awkward fall as part of that foul that brought down Emer Kiley. It looks like she has sustained a pretty serious leg injury. There's a few people around there working with her, making sure she's okay. And it looks like Cork may be forced into an earlier change than expected. But as I said, that lightning start from Cork, 15 minutes gone here in Clonakilty, 4-4 for Cork, 2 points for Tipperary. Real uphill challenge now for Tipperary as a bit of a hush descends upon the Ahamilla complex. Cork players have been called over to the sideline, and it does indeed look like that this is a serious injury to the Cork corner forward. We believe it's Emer Kiley, number 15, who went down under the challenge of Lauren Fitzpatrick, and that's a real disappointment. Cork, as we said, who have just been on it since the opening whistle. That opening goal, which came courtesy of Emer Kiley, an initial shot that bounced back off the post from Darren O'Sullivan, finished to the net by the Valley Rovers corner forward. Following that, Cork once again taking advantage of a poor Tipperary kick out, using the ball, working it through the hands as they have done all the way through. And disappointingly, we're just watching as we look at Cork's second goal here from Maura O'Callaghan. There is a stretcher being brought up, but we're not sure whether it's going to be used or not. But yeah, Cork's excellent start. Maura O'Callaghan adding to Cork's second goal. Fantastic finish from the Mourneabbey midfielder. And there we have the sight now, the unfortunate sight. After 16 minutes, real disappointment for Emer Kiley. Has been an outstanding form for her, for both her club and for county. Throughout this season, she's been carried off. It looks like a serious injury, as we said here, after 16 minutes, and she is certainly not going to be taking any further part in this match. And Cork are replacing Emer Kiley. We're just waiting for that substitute to come on. It is number 21 who's coming on, and that's Abigail Ring. Now, back to the action, and a penalty for Cork, rolled into the net by number 10, Dara Kiley, twin sister of Emer, who's gone off injured. Really disappointing. Cork now just adding further misery to Tipperary, and real disappointment as well, as we said, to see Emer Kiley go off injured in that initial build up to that, and that's what led to the penalty that Dara Kiley has converted to make it Cork 5-4, Tipperary 2 points. Tipperary's attempts to go back up the pitch thwarted by Melissa Duggan. Cork once again through the hands quickly down the middle. Emma Cleary getting through a lot of possession today. She's in for the injured Katie Quirk, remember. Replacement number 21, Abigail Ring, getting her first touch. Working the ball to Darren O'Sullivan. A crossfield pass looking for Orla Cahalan, and it looks like that's who's going to go out over the end line, and it does, and that's the first wide of the afternoon for Cork. But already, unfortunately for Tipperary, this game looks done and dusted. 5-4 to 0-2 after 17 minutes, as goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick lines up the kick out to try and get Tipperary going again. What they need to do now, retain possession and work the ball slowly put the ball through the hands, as we said. And here they go. An opportunity now for Tip, as we said, just to keep hold of the ball, push Cork back. And Emma Morrissey, in fairness to her, she's been excellent all day. She gives the ball to Lucy Spillane, quickly through the hands again to centre back Laura Morrissey. Laura goes back, and Cork once again getting numbers behind the ball. Liam Martin, who's deep out of her full forward position. That's a hopeful punt, and it's gobbled up by Roisin Phelan. Referee saw a late challenge, and that is going to be a free. He says a tug in the jersey. John Murphy on the ball there, and an opportunity now for Tipperary once again, as we said, to reset and possibly start moving through the hands, move through the gears, just get a few scores on the board and just settle what's been a horrific start for them. Caitlin Downey in the ball, takes it deep into territory. Ball is worked back to number 13, Angela McGuigan. She sends in a low ball to Aisling Maloney. What can Aisling do? She lets the ball out to number 29, as we said, Anna Rose Kennedy, who started. Ball is worked to the right, and that's gone wide. So one wide each for both teams, but it's not really the story of this first half. As we head towards the 20th minute, it's Cork who lead 5-4 to 2 points. As we said, for what has been a really difficult opening for the Cork, or for Tipperary, and Cork are taking full advantage. Hannah Looney bursting up the wing, playing a 1-2, lets it inside, and well done there from Laura O'Mahony, Donovan Ross wing back, winning a 60-40 ball, retaining possession, looks for Orla Cahalan, who's getting a lot of attention today. Instead, the ball falls to Ciara O'Sullivan. She sends it wide, and an opportunity for Cork to reset once again. Ciara O'Sullivan in possession, takes a hit, keeps a hold of the ball. That leg heavily strapped. Hopefully that's not too much of an injury for her, but she's been moving well throughout the opening phase of this game. Hannah Looney, who's just been just about everywhere. The Cork player, takes a look and shoots, and that's gone wide. So Cork just getting a little sloppy with 2 wides in the last 5 minutes. Not what they were hoping to do, looking to add to their total, but as we said, they're already well in the driving seat in this particular game. Now we have a problem, as Jonathan Murphy is sending substitute Abigail Ring back off the pitch. I can only imagine that's because she has an earring, or she should have had a mouth guard or something along those lines, but it looks like it's a very temporary setback for Cork. In the meantime, Tipperary immediately worked the ball to Lucy Spillane. She sends it inside to number 5, Maria Curley. The ball now worked on to number 19, Caitlin Downey, looking for Aisling Maloney. The ball goes long, and Cork retain possession with Shauna Kelly, who we haven't seen a lot of, but she's been doing a lot of tracking, working the ball out wide on the left. That ball doesn't go to hand, and instead of Ciara Sullivan gaining possession, it's Elaine Kelly. Gives it to Emma Cronin, and back inside, and Tipperary will start once again with their half-back Clean Dwyer, who's been working very hard, in fairness to her today. Liam Martin bursting through the middle now, looking to get something going, takes on 2 Cork players and beats them. Emer Meany inside her, and she's forced to go back, and a turnover for Cork. Now let's see what they can do with it. Good ball through the hands. Anna Ryan to Ciara O'Sullivan, quickly on to Hannah Looney, as we said, covering huge amount of ground today. She's under pressure now from Sarah English, who forces her wide. And Cork once again work the ball inside to Orla Cahalan, getting plenty of attention from Emma Cronin, and the referee says she lost possession and fouled, and Tipperary have it. Cork back up to their full complement now. Abigail Ring back on the pitch, having been just temporarily sent at line by the referee, we assume, for either a gum sheet or to remove an earring. We're not too sure. We'll find out at half time, but it's 15 against 15 again, as we said. 21 minutes gone here in Clonakilty and West Cork in front of a huge crowd. Subdued, however, because Cork enjoy a commanding 5-4 to 0-2 lead. What can Aisling Maloney do for Tipperary to try and get them going? She finds corner forward Angela McGuigan, who comes deep. Ball is sprayed wide to the other corner forward, Aisling Maloney. Ball comes back inside. Claire English doesn't gain possession, and as she does for Cork on a regular basis, Roisin Phelan cleans up, and a really good ball to an unmarked Ciara O'Sullivan, taking the ball deep into Tipperary possession. A hand pass inside to the free running Hannah Looney, who takes flight, but brilliant interception from Lucy Spillane there, back there, and again Clean Dwyer, covering a huge amount of ground for her team today, wraps that up and works the ball to Elaine Kelly, the Kappa White cornerback, who goes back, and she finds Maria Curley, the captain for Tipperary. Ball inside to Emma Morrissey. She looks to break the tackle and does. Tipperary's only score this afternoon in what's been a really disappointing start for them, but she's lost possession, turned over by Maura O'Callaghan, who immediately wins the free. Cork in complete control thanks to those 5 early goals, and looking now to build on their lead. Emma Cleary in possession now. She turns back inside, finds her centre back Shauna Kelly, who's come up from deep. And a long kick pass is gathered brilliantly by Emma Cronin, the Moyle Rovers cornerback. And finally, Tipperary enjoying a sustained period of possession, finally getting to work the ball up the pitch. And they do that very, very quickly. Kick pass into Aisling Maloney. What can the corner forward do? She turns, but she's under a bit of pressure here from Emer Meany. She turns, takes a look, and with right-footed, that one drops short. And it's easy pickings from Maeve O'Sullivan from Burnaby, who immediately works the ball out to her defenders. Maura O'Callaghan deep in possession, and here's Emma Cleary in that role that Katie Quirk normally employs for Cork, dropping deep, setting up another attack. Melissa Duggan, the Donnies centre back, she looks in for Hannah Looney, and once again the ball goes to hand. Dara Kiley, who's after converting a penalty, lets the ball inside again to her teammate Melissa Duggan. Hannah Looney is the overlap. Will she take a shot? And that has dropped short, much to the anger of Shane Ronayne, who was looking for more from that. Aisling Maloney gathers possession, and Tipperary restart from deep in their own half. Hard tackles going in there from Emer Meany, not letting up, but neither is Lucy Spillane from Fethard. Ball quickly into the hands of number 13, Angela McGuigan, the free-running corner forward. She has Anna Rose Kennedy behind her if she needs her, but she's going to take on Roisin Phelan. Wisely sends the ball back to Kennedy, who kick passes to an unmarked Emma Morrissey. Tip again working the ball, but it doesn't go to hand, and an unforced turnover finds Ciara O'Sullivan. What are Cork going to do with it? Hannah Looney, who's finding acres of space, immediately releases the ball. It's worked inside to Abigail Ring, who's going to take a shot, and that one has gone over the bar from the Cork substitute, Abigail Ring. Super score from her after 24 minutes. We had a lull there for quite a while, but it's now Cork 5-5 following Abigail Ring's point, and Tipperary 2 points. Here come Tip right in front of the big stand here with a huge attendance. Emma Morrissey going deep into Cork territory and looking and finding half forward Clara English. Clara again, Tip just when they seem to be building any bit of momentum. The ball and the pass doesn't go to hand, but it's been cleaned up by Niamh Martin, who looks inside and finds one of her forwards. She releases Clara English. An opportunity here now for one of the Tip players coming through. That was a foul by Melissa Duggan on Sarah English, right on the edge of the square, and the referee Jonathan Murphy says it's a free in. Lucky escape there for Cork, because had that been a couple of millimetres, even a foot or two in front, that may well have been a penalty. Instead, it's a close range free, and it looks like Tipperary's Emma Morrissey is lining up. No, it's going to be Aisling Maloney, the Cahir corner forward, right in front of the Cork goal. You would imagine she'll tap this over for only her first score and Tipperary's third of what's been a very, very, very difficult first half for Tip, unfortunately. Completely outclassed in that first quarter of an hour, but an opportunity here for Aisling Maloney to get her name on the scoreboard after 26 minutes, and she does just that. Aisling Maloney's third point of the afternoon Aisling Maloney getting Tipperary's third point of the afternoon after 26 minutes. Cork 5-5, Tip 3 points. Quick kick out from Cork, going short this time Maeve O'Sullivan, and finding Melissa Duggan, who immediately releases Emma Cleary, dropping deep from her half centre forward position, and she is powering up the pitch. Hannah Looney, I'm like a broken record, but she's in acres of space, carrying the ball deep into territory. Dara Kiley, and once again Cork work it through the hands. Abigail Ring, they work the opening. And what is Hannah Looney going to do? She cuts inside a defender. Is she going to fist it over the bar? She is. Hannah Looney, superb finish there from Looney, fisting it over the bar to make it Cork 5-6, Tipperary 3 points. And of that 5-6, Hannah Looney has 1-2, so it's been a very, very profitable afternoon for the dual player. Just the 3 minutes now coming up to half time. Tipperary once again looking to settle things down, retain possession, and they go short with the kick out to Emma Morrissey, and that works. The Tipperary midfielder, who's been very, very effective in that role, but she's been really up against it. And here once again, Laura Manny conceding the free. Morrissey has plenty to say to the referee. I wouldn't blame her for being frustrated. Not the start she or Tipperary wanted, but they retain the ball deep in their own half and will look to restart again. Just, you can't vouch for that Cork start in the opening minute. 5 goals inside the opening 15 minutes. I mean, that has just been a fantastic start for Cork, but Tip, in fairness, continue to push forward. Ball is worked to Angela McGuigan, who stumbles for a second and moves back. She now looks for support and doesn't seem to be getting it, and she finally gets it from Anna Rose Kennedy, who started at the very beginning, as we said, for Tipperary. Back to Clara English, and Tipperary sensibly just holding on to the ball, working down that clock, looking for an opening. Emma Morrissey's long ball inside, almost finding half-back number 5 Maria Curley, the Tipperary captain, and in a 50-50 with the Cork goalkeeper, has suffered an injury. Very braver there, looking to punch that ball in a 50-50, but the Cork goalkeeper did just about enough to put Curley off, the Tipperary captain. That ball looks like it's gone out wide. Referee is going in to see if the player is okay, but it looks like she is winded, and it is indeed a 45 for Tipperary following that 50-50 ball. So just to recap, here in a huge crowd at Clonakilty and West Cork for today's TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship clash. Cork in a very, very commanding position. They lead 5-5 to 3 points just coming up to half time here. Really disappointing for a Tipperary team that started with the opening point from Emma Morrissey, but following that, Emer Kiley, Maura Callaghan goals within a minute of each other, putting Cork in a commanding position. Hannah Looney, Ciara O'Sullivan make it 2-2 to a point, and following that, Darren O'Sullivan setting up Orla Callahan for Cork's third goal to make it 3-2 to 0-1. Anna Ryan then finished off a flowing move for another goal before Darren O'Sullivan landed a free. It was 4-3 to 0-2 when Emma Morrissey scored Tipperary's second point. And following that, Hannah Looney has since added 2 points as a substitute Abigail Ring, and in between, Emer Kiley's gone off injured to be replaced by Abigail Ring, and that subsequent penalty was converted by Dara Kiley. Now, long ball in from the 45. Aisling Maloney was fouled, according to the referee. Strange looks there from the Cork defence. They didn't feel it was a foul, but it's very close to goal again for Maloney. Now, she's lining this one up. It's in her hands. Will she go for goal? Why not? Or will she take the safe option and pop it over the bar? She looks like she's thinking about a goal. Takes a couple of steps back, a couple of solos. Very, very difficult afternoon for Maloney, who played so well. And she takes a shot, and it's brilliantly blocked by Marine. The rebound, brilliantly blocked. Oh, and the rebound has gone over the net. We'll award that one to Aisling Maloney. She deserves it. The initial free was blocked on the line by Emer Meany, but the rebound coming out to Maloney, and her attempted shot rebounding, we think, off Roisin Phelan, but we'll give it to Maloney over the line, and a goal for Tipperary. They haven't had much to shout about, but they've got a goal here now, right on the half hour here, nearing the opening half of what's been a completely, up to that point, dominant Cork, who immediately recycle possession, and it's Ciara O'Sullivan carrying the ball over the 45 on the left hand side. Referee's hand is up, so she has the advantage. If she's seen it, she'll keep going. Advantage is now over, and Tipperary looking to wrestle the ball from the Mournabbey player. They do so, and they keep possession. So that's good play from Laura Morrissey, trying to get the ball out, and Tipperary working the ball up the field again. Clean odds word to her goalkeeper, Lauren Fitzpatrick, who comes out of her goal and finds Angela McGuigan corner forward, way, way back in defence. She evades 2 tackles, looks inside for support, and gets it. So that's really a big boost for Tipperary, in fairness to them. Aisling Maloney getting that goal to put a bit of respectability on the scoreline. But it certainly has been Cork's half since the opening whistle. We've got we're into injury time now, set in this first half, dominated by the home side, as Aisling Maloney looks to get going again. She's been closely marked by Roisin Phelan there, wide on the right. Tipperary sensibly keeping the ball in hand. Sarah English looks across the pitch, a kick pass, and that is picked up by the Tipperary defender, Lauren Morrissey, now bursting forward. She gets the ball inside to number 10, Sarah English. What's she going to do? She loses possession momentarily. She's swallowed up, but she keeps possession. That's a foul, and there is a problem. The referee is going over to talk to somebody. We're not quite sure who, but it looks like he is being summoned by his assistant on the far side of the pitch. Maybe something was not seen or something was said, but there's a confab going on there, and it looks like somebody might be in trouble. Jonathan Murphy, referee, beckoning forward somebody, but we're not quite sure who. 2 players actually. So don't know if there's any real need for this since right at the end of the opening half, but it looks like both Aisling Maloney and Darren O'Sullivan are sheepishly walking up to the referee. Maybe something was said, maybe there was a clash off the ball, we're not 100% certain. But 2 minutes, nearly 3 minutes now into injury time this opening half. Referees having a quick chat with Ashton Maloney, having an even quicker chat with Darren O'Sullivan, keeping the peace here, just letting him know he's in charge, no need for any back chat. And a bit of a laugh in the end for Maloney, and on we go. We will resume play very, very shortly with Tipperary in possession from a free kick. Emma Morrissey looking for that quick free, didn't work out. Probably land this in around the square and see if Tipperary can gain anything from it. Ashton Maloney back inside, she's been tracked by Emer Meany. The ball drops and goes beyond the post, and unfortunately for Tipperary, that one has gone wide. That may be the last action of this opening half. We'll have to wait and see, and indeed it is. Oh, it's not actually, sorry, apologies. The ball has worked out. Thought I heard a whistle. Instead, Cork gain possession and take advantage of lax marking once again from Tipperary. Melissa Duggan bursting up the pitch. Low foot pass inside. Finds Orla Cahalan, who's been well marked in fairness all afternoon. She finds Duggan again, the cornerback, way out of position. Ball comes to Abigail Ring. That comes all the way across to number 17 for Cork. And the ball is up. It's high and it's over the bar. Cork, so with an excellent score. Emma Cleary working the ball patiently through the hands, as we said. They've done that all during this opening half. And Emma Cleary, of course, she's in today for the injured Katie Quirk. She gets Cork's 7th point of this opening half. And as it stands, Cork enjoying a commanding 5-7 to 1-3 lead. Emma Morrissey looked like she was pushing, and she was. Cork will take the free. Laura Manny with a quick pass into Emma Cleary, who got that last score for Cork. Hannah Looney happy to hold on to the ball and draw out the Tipperary defence if she can. Cork once again going through the motions, retaining the ball, and happy to see out what's been a really one-sided, opening quarter. Since then, Tipperary, in fairness, them have come back into it, but they are an uphill challenge, just putting it mildly. Down 5-7 to 1-3 as we play out. We're into our now 5th minute of injury time. We did have a long delay when Emer Kiley went down under a challenge that Cork won a penalty from. She was subsequently had to go off injured. We'll get an update on her condition as soon as we possibly can. As it stands, Cork 5 minutes now into injury time in a commanding place with a big lead of 5-7 to 1-3, holding on to the ball and just looking for the referee possibly to finally wave his hand for half time, but he doesn't. Jonathan Murphy, we're going to play every minute of this additional time no matter what, and Cork will continue to come forward. Shauna Kelly, the Araglan Desmond's Gree player, in the centre back position, working the ball wide again. Cork. Melissa Duggan fisting the ball out wide to the left channel with Roisin Phelan's up from the back. Orla Cahalan, it's Darren O'Sullivan, apologies, gains possession, takes a look, and that famous shot that she usually hooks over the bar unfortunately has gone wide. That's only Cork's 3rd wide of the afternoon. But as we said, they still lead. Really commanding lead here, 5-7 to 1-3. We play on into our 6th minute of injury time in this opening half. Tipperary goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick launching the ball long, but it is Cork who quickly retain possession thanks to number 5 Anna Ryan, and they'll start again from deep inside their own half. Roisin Phelan unmarked, moving up from her cornerback position. She places the ball wide. Here's Shauna Kelly. What can she do with it now? She lets the ball inside to Hannah Looney. Links with Abigail Ring, who will go out wide on the right channel to find Dara Kiley, who jinks inside a defender. Takes a look with a right foot shot, and that is a sweet effort. Dara Kiley, super point from the Valley Rovers player. Cork's 8th point of the half. They lead 5-8 to 1-3, and surely now, as we head towards our 7th minute of injury time, referee Jonathan Murphy will call the temporary halt to proceedings. But that was a superb score, jinking inside a defender, taking aim and firing it over the bar. Dara Kiley with Cork's final point of what has been a hugely commanding first half performance from the Rebels. They lead 5-8 to 1-3, 5 goals inside the opening 10 minutes, which has done the damage. They lead, as we said at this point. Tipperary absolutely blown away by Cork's 5 goals, really struggling to gain a foothold. They did pull a goal back to Aisling Maloney, but at half time, as you can see there, the score, Cork in a very commanding position, leading by 5-8 to 1-3. We're going to take a short break and we will be back with you for live coverage of the second half of this TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Senior Football Championship Group 4 clash between Cork and Tip. Cork in a commanding lead 5-8 to 1-3, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Clonakilty for the second half of today's TG4 LGFA Group 4 clash between Cork and Tipperary, where at half-time Cork have built a commanding 5-8 to 1-3 lead. Quite the first half from the Rebels, knocking in 5 goals. A fantastic performance all round from them. Tipperary, in fairness, were just absolutely blitzed and blown away by those early goals, and really now it's damage limitation for much of the second half. One thing to mention, I incorrectly said that number 29, as listed on the programme as Anna Rose Kennedy, was playing. It is in fact Laura Dillon who's in for Nessa Toomey. So Laura Dillon is the person that's in there for Tipperary. We're about to get restarted. We've just been entertained by young players from a host of clubs who gave us a fantastic demonstration at half time, and we restart the second half with Tipperary quickly on the run. Aisling Maloney back in midfield now, looking to retain possession. She got that goal just before the break, which was crucial for Tip, just to keep them the heads up. I mean, it was very difficult going in half time, having conceded 5 goals, but in fairness, Tipperary, they continue to pour forward whenever the opportunity arises, and this is one of those occasions when half forward Sarah English was over carried, unfortunately, and Roisin Phelan closing her down, and Cork will now get possession deep in their own half. As we said, a very, very one-sided opening 10-15 minutes in which Cork blitzed Tipperary for 5 goals and have not looked back. The only blemish on that first half performance, Emer Kiley, corner forward, having to go off injured. She was brought down for the penalty, couldn't continue, but her twin sister Dara did the needy from the resulting spot kick to put Cork pretty much out of sight. Shauna Kelly, Araglen Desmond-Bui, centre back, bursting up the field now, looking for Cork to restart the second half as they started the first on the attack. A good ball inside, and once again Cork providing the overlap. Anna Ryan's pass does not go to hand, but Orla Cahalan is quickly on it. 2 defenders around her. The air forward bounces off one defender, turns back inside, looks for some support. Kick pass finds Darren O'Sullivan, gathers the ball, shakes off one, shakes off 2 defenders, and a heavy knock, and that will be a free to Cork. And O'Sullivan got one pretty nasty knock there just on the face the second time around. 2 Tipperary defenders, close attention. Jonathan Murphy ticking the name, we think, of number 4 Emma Cronin there. Darren, she looks okay, being tended to now by the Cork physio, as is one of the Tipperary defenders, Elaine Kelly, on the far side of the pitch as well. So a lot of people in the wars here early on. You can see Elaine there getting a drink of water. Quite hot today, as we said. It was 22 degrees earlier. There has been a wind blowing across the pitch, and that was a bit of a factor early on, but nothing to do with Cork's superb performance. 5 goals in the opening half. A real statement of intent from Shane Renee's side, not taking their foot off the gas, and they lead deservedly 5-8 to 1-3 early stages of the second half here between Cork and Tip. The winners go through to the quarterfinals of the All-Ireland. The losers' season will be over. O'Sullivan goes short with the free. Finds Orla Cahalan, back to O'Sullivan. One thing on her mind. Oh, what a shot. Brilliant save. Tipped over by Lauren Fitzpatrick, but that was heading for goal were it not for the intervention of the Tip goalkeeper, putting it over the bar. Brilliant save by Lauren Fitzpatrick, one-handed over the bar, but it's Darren O'Sullivan who gets Cork up and running with that point at the start of the second half. Cork now leading 5-9 to 1-3. And Tipperary will be looking to retain possession for longer periods. They don't do that. They're turned over immediately from the restart. O'Sullivan with the ball and looking for her sister Ciara. She finds her. Jinx, shot, and again a brilliant save from Lauren Fitzpatrick there. And she took a knock as well from that immediately after that shot. But a brave save from the Tipperary goalkeeper. And in fairness to her, were it not for her 2 interventions early in this second half, Cork may well have added 2 more goals. Instead, they only have a point to their name. But a superb save from the Tipperary goalkeeper, Lauren Fitzpatrick, to deny Ciara O'Sullivan what would have been a certain goal, and Cork will be disappointed with that. But they still hold that commanding lead, 5-9 to 1-3, way out in front. And it'll be interesting to see now for the remainder of this particular game what happens. Peter Creedon, the Tipperary manager, is on. He's not particularly happy about that challenge, having a word to say to the referee. The lines person is on now, and now Jonathan Murphy is going to call over Ciara O'Sullivan, or is Darren O'Sullivan? I'm not 100% certain. It's Darren O'Sullivan, but I think that might be a case of mistaken identity, and it is. He's certainly looking for an O'Sullivan, and he's going over towards Ciara, who was involved in that attempt at goal. Cork restarting in determined fashion. Darren O'Sullivan shot tipped over by Lauren Fitzpatrick, and then Fitzpatrick denying Ciara O'Sullivan a one-on-one certain goal. But it's Ciara O'Sullivan who may be in a bit of pressure here now from the referee. She seems incredulous. She was only going for the ball, taking the shot, but the referee and linesperson basically had a confab immediately after that, and that is a red card. I don't know, it looks like a red card. I'm not sure. It is. She's been sent to the line. So after 34 minutes, that incident involving Ciara O'Sullivan and goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick, the Mourne player, has been red carded, we believe. We're just going to get confirmation on that, but she's been sent to the line. It is a red card, so Cork are down to 14. Now that can only be for that incident where Ciara took the close range shot. It looked like the referee and the lines person had a conversation whether she followed through or not, but whatever's happening, Cork are not happy with this decision, and Ciara O'Sullivan has been red carded, and that's a big blow for Cork. It's also a big blow with one eye on the quarterfinals. We're assuming Cork will get there because Ciara is one of her county's most experienced players, a huge cog in that attacking wheel, and we can only imagine that whatever the incident was, it was for a follow through on the shot that Lauren Fitzpatrick saved. But whatever the situation, we are down to 14 players. Cork are down to 14 players, and Tipperary now will have a numerical advantage for the remainder of a game that's pretty much done and dusted in terms of the scoreboard, 5-9 to 1-3. But there will be questions asked of that, the decision of the referee afterwards. Just take a look at it again. So there's the shot, superbly saved. Both players on the ground trying to get up. Ciara making an attempt to get up, and well, I can only imagine that the referee and linesman or linesperson have seen that and adjudged Ciara O'Sullivan to have fouled the goalkeeper. It certainly isn't clear from that replay, but whatever. Cork are down to 14 players. Shane Ronayne looks incredulous on the sideline, and we now have a numerical advantage for Tipperary for the remainder of the game. Can they make that count as they burst clear here? And they're certainly looking to do so. And full forward Niamh Martin, having collected a pass from Nora Martin, number 21, a half-time substitute, we believe, for Tipperary, who came on at half-time. But that one went through. Anna Ryan now adjudged to have brought down the Tipperary full forward en route to goal there, and we'll get a ticking from the referee. And it's a yellow card, and now Cork are down to 13 players temporary. Now this is not the way they wanted the second half to start. First of all, losing Ciara O'Sullivan, and now losing Anna Ryan to a yellow card for 10 minutes after 37 minutes. So the referee adjudging that foul to have been serious enough to put them off. And now the Cork supporters are getting behind their teams. Aisling Maloney lines up the close range free and scores a goal. A rocket into the back of the net from Aisling Maloney. In off the crossbar. What an effort from the corner forward. Rasping effort off the crossbar. And now Tipperary have an opportunity. 5-9 to 2-3 behind as substitute number 24 for Tipperary comes onto the pitch. It's Anya Delaney coming on after 37 minutes. And Anya is replacing. We're just waiting to see who's coming off, and there's a player coming off. But Cork now down to 13 players. And this certainly is not the start of the second half that Cork would have wished for. But they now definitely are in a bit of bother, because Aisling Maloney's second goal direct from that free has brought Tipperary to 2-3. 5-9 to 2-3, coming up to the 40th minute. And Cork currently down to 13 players. A red card for Ciara O'Sullivan and a yellow card and a temporary 10-minute onto the bench for number 5 for Cork, and that is Anna Ryan. And as the second half progresses, we now have Cork looking to take the ball deep into territory again. Dara Kiley in possession on the ball, and number 8 as we said for Cork now, just looking to retain possession. Laura Manning taking the sting out of that, works the ball to Melissa Duggan on the far right hand side. The Donnies forward seems to have been held up, no foul given, takes a knock as well after that, but still keeps the ball in hand. Shauna Kelly getting through a lot more ball now in the second and third quarter than she saw in the first quarter. And this second half certainly a lot more interesting than we thought it might be, because as Shane Ronayne walks up the sideline shaking his head, here's Maura O'Callaghan letting in a low kick for Darren O'Sullivan, holding off one defender, bouncing off, and it looks like a foul. Referee says no, and on we go. Crowd on the Cork sideline not happy with this at all. At the referee, but Tipperary don't care. They move the ball at pace. Aisling Maloney, but gobbled up by Roisin Phelan. What a player she is, and what an afternoon she's having. Turns out of 2 defenders and works the ball across to Laura Cleary, who takes a heavy knock after passing. Ball now onto number 21, Abigail Ring. She looks for and finds Laura Manny. That's a foul and a free. So plenty of hits going in this second half, and certainly the decisions that Cork were looking for not going their way. As we said, if you're just joining us, it is now Cork leading here. This Group 4 encounter, must-win encounter. The winners go through to the All-Ireland quarter-finals. The losers' season is over for another season. Cork 5-9 to 2-3 ahead. 5 goals in the opening quarter. But since then, 2 Aisling Maloney goals have given Tipperary some faint hope. Cork currently down to 13 players as we watch Maura O'Callaghan break a tackle. She finds Abigail Ring, who in turn finds Hannah Looney. A looping kick from the dual player over the bar. And that's exactly what Cork needed in the 40th minute from Hannah Looney. Superb score from the midfielder. She's had a really, really good game, bringing Cork's total to 5-10. But as I said, as we look at Hannah Looney there, getting through a huge amount of work this afternoon, 5-10 to 2-3. Cork have lost Ciara O'Sullivan to a red card, and also now Anna Ryan to a yellow. Number 23 for Tipperary has just come on. And then number 23 is Sarah Ryan. So she comes on, replaces number 6, the centre-back, Laura Morrissey, who was having a really good game. I can only imagine that must have something to do with an injury, because she got through a huge amount of work. But as it stands, Tipperary, with the addition of 2 extra players, what can they do with that advantage as they work the wall up the left flank? Cutting inside, Cork forcing the Tipperary forwards wide. And that ball goes to hand, and Emma Morrissey, the midfielder who's been outstanding, looks for Aisling Maloney, but once again Emer Meany and Roisin Phelan outstanding, and now pulled to the ground, and Cork not happy with that tackle, which has left the Cork cornerback in a heap on the ground. Referee Jonathan Murphy notes it, but does nothing further on that. But Roisin Phelan certainly felt the full brunt of that challenge, and Cork taking the sting out of the situation at the moment. They've obviously got the advantage on the scoreboard, 5-10 to 2-3. Those 5 first quarter goals really putting the cat amongst the pigeons. But in fairness to Tipperary, it could have been a lot worse. 2 brilliant Lauren Fitzpatrick saves at the start of the second period has kept them somewhat in the game, and they've pulled a goal back, as they said, from Aisling Maloney. Couple of substitutes warming up and about to come on now for Tipperary. Number 22 Emma O'Sullivan and number 18 Nell Spillane. So Peter Creed wisely with the numerical advantage, emptying his substitutes bench after 41 minutes. Those 2 players have come on. We'll see who they're replacing quite shortly. But we've got 2 players on the pitch, and we're waiting to see who's coming off. And it's number 29. Now we're just waiting to see who the other player who's coming off is, and it's actually one of the defenders who's coming just over, trotting over to the pitch there now, and that's number 19 as well. That's Caitlin Downey. So the last of Tipperary's changes have been made. 29 and 19, both of those players are off, and we restart with Cork in possession. Hannah Looney, who's been outstanding, and she's fouled, as is Emma Cleary. Emma Cleary shipping a heavy knock there. She's just trying to walk it off, but it doesn't look too good for the Cork forward. Yeah, and she's actually going down now. Physiotherapist Sinead O'Regan is with her. She took a bit of a knock following that challenge there. The Aerogue all-rounder, who's had a really good game coming in today for Katie Quirk, but she definitely took a knock on the leg. And Emma Cleary is not a player that goes down unless it's a serious knock, and this looks like it may have knocked the wind out of her, but she's going to try and run it off, and that's good news for Cork. Cork 13 players play, Tipperary 15 players. As we said, Ciara O'Sullivan sent off at the beginning of the second half, and since then Anna Ryan has received the yellow card. Tip have pulled the goal back, but it's Cork in control. Shauna Kelly, centre back, superb player, carrying the ball now into the Tipperary half. Links up with Laura O'Mahony, and Cork's Dara Kiley having to come deep. As we said, down the 2 players. The ball doesn't go to hand, and Tipperary immediately regain possession. What can Tip do with this now? They burst 1 tackle, and they've got 2 going forward. One of those is the cornerback, Elaine Kelly, who's way up the pitch. Lays it off to Emma Morrissey. Morrissey, what's she going to do? Did she overstep? She takes a shot. Oh, wide. Well wide of the target in the end. She's appealing for a 45, but the referee and umpire agree with her that there was a touch, and that will be a 45 to Tipperary. Good break there from the fullback Elaine Kelly coming up the pitch. She links superbly with Emma Morrissey, who's been Tipperary's standout player, in fairness to her. I know Aisling Maloney has gotten the 2 goals, but Morrissey has gotten through some amount of work in midfield today. Really, really good player. Unfortunately for Tipperary, it's not been enough as they've conceded those 5 early goals. They trail 5-10 to 2-3. Now, goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick, who's had an eventful afternoon to put it mildly, picking the ball out of the net 5 times, making 2 or 3 brilliant saves, and now lining up a 45. It looks like she wants to go short. Attempts to do so, but straight into the Cork and the hands of Melissa Duggan, who gobbles up possession, holds onto the ball and says, I'm going to leave it here for my goalkeeper Maeve O'Sullivan to restart the game. Cork leading 5-10 to 2-3 at the 45-minute mark here today in Clonakilty in front of a huge crowd. The winners go through to the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. The losers' season ends. On the ball, Laura O'Mahony, who's had a really good game at centre back, draws the foul, kills the clock another few seconds, and gives Anna Ryan, waiting for Anna Ryan, of course, to come back. She's off on a yellow card. Ciara O'Sullivan is also off, of course, sent off for a challenge on Lauren Fitzpatrick that led to a brilliant save at the start of the second half. But Cork patiently retaining the ball. Shauna Kelly once again looking for Darren O'Sullivan, who's been in the wars today but continues, and that's another unforced turnover from Cork. They are giving Tipperary possession, but it's understandable when they're down 2 players. Aisling Maloney, haven't seen much of her in the second half apart from that wonder goal, but she's got the ball now. Emer Meany staying with her, hand pass inside to full forward. Even when she's brought down, she fists the ball, but it's weak and it doesn't go any further than that. Melissa Duggan's arms. Niamh Martin under pressure there, in fairness to her, the full forward. Cork gratefully take the ball back and will attempt to move up the right wing once again. Just awaiting on the sideline. Anna Ryan's 10 minutes will be up quite shortly, but in the meantime action continues out in the pitch. Orla Cahalan taking the ball into contact, 2 defenders around her, retains it, but this may be a turnover. Fairness to the Éire Óg player, she was fouled. It did very, very well there because she was under pressure at one stage, and it looks like Cork on the sideline now preparing Anna Murphy to come in, as well as Breed O'Sullivan, who's one of the substitutes, the Mourne player, looking like she may well be making an appearance at some point. But the 10 minutes for Anna Ryan is not yet up. Referee is now motioning, and here comes Breed O'Sullivan, one of Cork's most experienced players, coming on for the second half there after 46 minutes. And she's put in a real shift, and it's Emma Cleary, unfortunately for Cork, who looks injured, hobbling off, but she's a fantastic performance. She's done really, really well, considering she came in for another injured player, Katie Quirk, but let's hope that's not too serious an injury, because she's been a very, very important player for Cork today, replaced by Breed O'Sullivan. And as we speak, that's the player who's in possession of the ball, the Mourne Abbey player, holding on to the ball, giving it back to her clubmate and teammate and Cork captain Maura Callan, who holds on to the ball. And there was a bit of a scuffle just off the ball as she had it, and referee Jonathan Murphy now calling Maura Callan in. A lot of niggly tackles in the second half, but nothing, I think, to be honest with you, that warranted perhaps a red card. Obviously the referee and lines person saw something in Ciara O'Sullivan's challenge on Lauren Fitzpatrick at the beginning of the second half, but for now Cork awaiting Anna Ryan's return. Her 10 minutes are nearly up. She's anxiously waiting on the sideline while one of the Tipperary players, it's number 13, Angela McGuigan, who's being attended to, took a bit of a knock there. Cork restart the game with Hannah Looney getting the ball into Darren O'Sullivan. Oh, brilliantly evades the defender, fisted into the corner where Orla Cahalan goes for the ball, but she is beaten to it by Emma Cronin. Good performance there as well today from that Tipperary cornerback. Has her hands full with Cahalan, but has done a really good job. And Tipperary once again restart the ball from deep in their own half. They bring the ball into contact, and where will this one go? It's worked out to the left where Angela McGuigan kick passes deep into territory where number 23 Sarah Ryan has the ball. Kick pass into space, and a chance for Emma Morrissey, who's in acres of space. She gets inside Breed O'Sullivan. What's she going to do? Hannah Looney holds her up temporarily. Aisling Maloney attempts a shot, but that's come short. And Maeve O'Sullivan gratefully accepts the shot that drops just underneath the crossbar, and Cork carry the ball into target again. Another foul, and that's going to be a free. Now, is the 10 minutes for Anna Ryan up? She indeed is. Here comes the Mourne player back onto the pitch. So Cork will now finish out the game with 14 players. Remember, Anna Ryan was off for a yellow card offence at the start of the second half. Prior to that, her teammate and clubmate Ciara O'Sullivan was sent off following a collision with the goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick. Cork will finish this game with 14 players, but they hold a commanding 5-10 to 2-3 lead. They've only added 2 points in the second half, one from Darren O'Sullivan, one from Hannah Looney. Whereas Tipperary, a magnificent goal from Aisling Maloney, what a player she is, crashing a free kick in off the crossbar. And while we wait, while attention to Melissa Duggan is administered, it's an opportunity for Cork to get some words in from the sideline. Laura O'Mahony is lining up to take this free to get us going once again. And she does so. And she finds Breed O'Sullivan, who's quickly on the ball and returns it. Nice hand pass to Donovan Ross, a set half back, who was fouled. And Cork will once again reset and just try and take the sting out of things if they can temporarily. Darren O'Sullivan gotten through a huge amount of work in the second half, more than she probably would have expected, to Maura Callan, the Cork captain, bursting through the middle, sees a gap. What's she going to do? She could leave it inside. She certainly does. Anna Ryan, goal! Anna Ryan's second goal of the afternoon for the Mourne Abbey half-back. Super finish, flowing move. Maura Callan with the overlap and the pass into space, and Anna Ryan bursting up from the back. Really has had a terrific season in that position, developing into quite a defender. And Cork, not that there was any doubt about potential outcome of this game, have now rubber stamped it with their sixth goal. 6-10 to 2-3 they lead, heading into the final 10 minutes of this encounter. Now, what can Tipperary's response be? Shauna Kelly with a big interception, or did she? She did. She plays it along the ground, and that one is cleared up by Melissa Duggan. But Shauna Kelly, another player to mention, having a really good game. Breed O'Sullivan in possession since coming on, has calmed things down in that centre back spot. Hannah Looney with a kick pass now into Orla Callan. Again, a real battle with Emma Cronin today. In fairness to Cronin, Cronin has done as well as anybody could on her. Callan shrugs off the challenge. A quick kick pass into Darren O'Sullivan. This Cork team not content to sit back on their lead. They work the ball to Abigail Ring, who in turn puts it back to Darren O'Sullivan, who slows down the pace, awaits the challenge, and gets the ball away to Dara Kiley, the Valley Rovers player who converted that first half penalty after her twin sister went off injured, having won the penalty. Hannah Looney fisted into her teammate. Breed O'Sullivan takes the return pass. The dual player, that kick looked a tired one, drops short, and the goalkeeper will work it out again. Lauren Fitzpatrick, who in fairness to her, it's rare that a goalkeeper when they concede 6 goals, but she has played really, really well, made some fine saves, and her distribution has been excellent as well. Here come Tipperary, bursting up the field. Emma Morrissey, for me, their best player today, has been outstanding. She works the ball into substitute number 24, Anya Delaney. Delaney shrugs off a challenge and keeps going. Ball is worked into full forward, Niamh Martin. What's Martin going to do with it? She's looking up, doesn't really have support, being gobbled up by 2 defenders, and that's blocked brilliantly by Laura O'Mahony. Cork's Anna Ryan is down injured. The referee hasn't seen it. Now he has, just under the stand here. Anna Ryan shipping a heavy challenge after Tipperary moved up the pitch there. She does look winded. Substitution for Cork, Dara Canary coming on, number 18. And she replaces Orla Cahalan. What a day for Orla Cahalan. The corner forward, aero player, the dual player as well, coming off after another fantastic performance by her. And Dara Canary is on for Cork. Cork replacing a forward with a defender, but Canary has moved up into the forward, so it'll be interesting to see what she does there. Anna Ryan has also been replaced. She's gone off, and it looks like number 27 for Cork, and that's Abby O'Mahony, is on as well for Anna Ryan. So they're not taking any chances with Anna Ryan. She's shipped a heavy knock there, as we said, so she's injured. She's gone off, and Abby O'Mahony has replaced her. Now Roisin Phelan got through a huge amount of work today. 3 defenders are under, but she releases the ball to Hannah Looney. Abby O'Mahony gets her first touch, and Cork will reset from deep in their own territory. Whichever way you look at it, it's been a really impressive Cork performance. 6 goals and 10 points on any day is a fantastic return, but for Tipperary, real disappointment that they couldn't contain Cork during that thrilling opening quarter, conceding those 5 goals, putting the result all but beyond doubt. Now they battled well, in fairness to Tipperary, got 2 good goals to come back some bit into it, and they haven't stopped trying. But Cork, just with the cushion of that start, they got in the first quarter and a heavy challenge on Maura Calendar from number 24 that referee is not happy with, and he's pointing at her. A real telling off for Anya Delaney. She knows about that one, but we will restart again, and the ref lets the game flow and hits Laura O'Mahony. O'Donovan Ross, the defender, bursting through one defender, running into another challenge. Ball is worked out to Dara Kiley wide on the right flank, and Cork will look to reset and bring it back in now. With less than 6 minutes to go of regulation time, they're just going to look to kill the clock on this one, try and get the result, or just obviously the result is beyond doubt, but no more injuries, and try and maybe pick off a few more scores. Tipperary back into their defensive shape, pushing Cork back towards their own half, where Melissa Duggan takes on the ball, takes on a defender and finds Dara Kiley, who in turn turns the ball back and is happy once again to take the sting out of this and draw Tipperary out of position if they can. Maura O'Callaghan's had a great game. Breda Sullivan has been impressive since she came on, and Shauna Kelly, that linchpin at centre back, getting the ball inside now to Abigail Ring. Ring sensibly bringing the ball back, and here we go again. Cork retaining possession, taking their time, working the ball, looking for that opening, and not in any rush to do so. Here's number 7, and that is a super effort from Laura O'Mahony, the O'Donovan Rossa defender, and a lot of the O'Donovan Rossa fans in attendance will be very happy to see that go over the bar. 6-11 for Cork now. The half back for Cork, Laura O'Mahony, splitting the post. Great score from her. Tipperary restarting with that short kick out once again. Looking to finish with a flourish now and try and put a bit of respectability on the final score. Their full forward, Niamh Martin, who's also a person that's looked for every ball today, a pretty much meagre possession, disappointingly gives that one away. Roisin Phelan in possession, and Cork will restart again. Ball doesn't go to hand, but Hannah Looney quickly gobbles it up, and Abby O'Mahony, the young wing back here, taking the ball into contact. Will she lose possession? Judged to have been fouled, and Cork will have a free, which is brought forward. Breda Sullivan looks inside and finds her clubmate Maura O'Callaghan, who finds another Mourne Abbey clubmate, Darren O'Sullivan. 6-11 to 2-3. Cork pretty much just seeing out the closing minutes of this Group 4 Senior Football Championship clash. Remember, the winners through to the quarterfinals, and the draw will take place later this evening once the fourth and final quarterfinal has been completed. But pretty much the headlines coming out of Clonakilty: an emphatic victory for Cork, a blistering start in the opening quarter with 5 goals from the Rebels in front of a huge attendance here in Clonakilty, who've successfully hosted a second big LGFA event, and they'll be very happy about that. But right now it's damage limitation for Tipperary, while Cork try to work the ball into a scoring position. Hannah Looney had it and she's fouled, and that will be a free that Darren O'Sullivan, I'm sure, will come out and take her time with. Down to 14 players in this second half, of course. Ciara O'Sullivan sent off following a clash with goalkeeper Lauren Fitzpatrick early in the second period. Cork down to 13 players when Anna Ryan was yellow carded, but they've overcome those setbacks, and now Darren O'Sullivan lining up this free. Or is she? She's going to look for a teammate, or she's going to kick it? Having a think about it, she elects to move the ball wide to Abigail Ring, another player who's been prominent today, very busy player in that forward line for Cork, and trying to drag the Tipperary defence out of position now as we wind down the clock for the final 3 minutes of today's All-Ireland clash between Cork and Tip. Cork quickly worked the ball through the hands. Hannah Looney deep in traffic. She gets the overlap she was looking for. Darren O'Sullivan fists it, and that's a goal. And a brilliant goal. Dara Kinnery with Cork's 7th goal of the afternoon. The substitute rising hires to palm the ball into the net. 7 goals for Cork. 7-10 to 2-3, and that's as emphatic a finish as Cork could have asked for, and Tipperary now just longing for the final whistle here. 7-11 to 2-3, as we said, right up near the end of what has been a pretty one-sided contest following those 5 goals in 15 minutes in the opening of this match, when Cork absolutely blitzed their opponents. Tipperary, in fairness, what else can they do? Trying to come forward, but once again Roisin Phelan has been a real rock at the back for Cork today, gobbling up that turnover, and Cork once again swiftly working the ball through the hands. It's been a feature of their performance today, and no doubting as well that they will be delighted by this performance. Still some question marks coming out of it for Cork, unfortunately. A couple of injuries. Anna Ryan, Emer Kiley, just to name but two. We'll have to get an update on those and how they are ahead of the quarterfinals. But in terms of scoring, Shane O'Neill will be thrilled. 7 goals and 10 points. They could have had more. As for Tipperary, disappointing, as we said, just not at the races in the opening 15 minutes, blitzed by their opponents, but have tried and worked as hard as they always do, and were rewarded with 2 goals before the final whistle. But this one is certainly over as Cork now winding down the final minute of this game here in Clonakilty in West Cork in front of a really big attendance as well. Great to see that for such an important game. Cork will march on to the quarterfinals of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship, where they will be away from home in the last 8. That's because Galway won this group. Just back to the action now as Abigail Ring takes the ball deep into territory. Doesn't go to hand. Abby O'Mahony can't get to it, and Tipperary just bringing the ball out here now for the final time. It's Maria Curley holding on to possession. And instead, the ball is now worked to Sarah Ryan, and Tipperary will look for perhaps one final score, an opportunity to raise a white flag or even a green one. Cornerback Elaine Kelly, a word for her too, the Kappa White player. She's worked unbelievably hard up and down the pitch all day. Very little reward for it, but she's been one of those Tipperary players who stood out along with Emma Morrissey and Aisling Maloney, and as well Neil Martin as well, who's played very, very well in the full forward position. Now Tipperary looking for one final opportunity. Aisling Maloney with the opportunity, but it drops short, and Maeve O'Sullivan, the Mournabbey and Cork goalkeeper, gratefully accepts. We are now into injury time as Cork look to finish out this Group 4 clash. They have now booked their place in the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. They'll be looking to improve on last year when they exited to the hands of Mayo. The draw for that championship coming up a little later on this evening, so stay tuned to the ladies' football social media. And we finish with, an opportunity for Darren O'Sullivan, and her shot crashes off the crossbar. Abigail Ring fires wide from the rebound. It's going to be a 45. That might have been an 8th goal. Wow, coming back off the crossbar from Darren O'Sullivan. Not to be. And the final few seconds here now as we wind down the clock. Really, really emphatic performance from Cork today. 7-11 to 2-3. Tipperary outclassed from the opening quarter onwards. Tried to make a game of it as much as they possibly could after then, but no doubting the winners and no doubting the quarter finalists will be Cork, and deservedly so. Dara Kiley with the 45, chipping it forward. Finding Abigail Ring, ball back inside to Breed O'Sullivan. A quick 1-2, and O'Sullivan finishes with a flourish. Fantastic to see the Mournabbey player who's come off the bench, made a real impact. Cork's 8th goal, 8-11 to 2-3. And really now Tipperary just want the final whistle. There's nothing more really for them to do. Short kick out, and no, we're going to keep playing Jonathan Murphy as he did in the first half with all the additional time. Played it right out until the final, very, very final. Tipperary coming up the right flank, an opportunity here, and that about sums up their day. Elaine Kelly in a good position, but the ball bouncing away from her, and instead it's gone out off play. So the final whistle is pretty imminent now at this stage. Cork 8 goals, 11 points. Tipperary 2 goals, 3 points. No doubting who's going into the hat for the quarter-final draw this afternoon, and Tipperary will have to regroup and come back stronger and better again for next season. Disappointment for them obviously today. They were underdogs coming in, but that first half, 15 minutes, 5-goal blitz from Cork would have beaten any team, in fairness to Tip, not just Tip. And that's something I'm sure Shane Ronayne will be absolutely delighted with. On the defensive side, he'll be disappointed with the concession of those 2 goals. But other than that, apart from the sending off of Ciara O'Sullivan, which we'll have to see what ramifications there are for that ahead of the quarterfinals, and a couple of injuries as well. Emer Kiley going off with a heavy challenge that won a penalty in the first half, and Anna Ryan also having to go off injured. It looks like that Cork may have some difficulties heading into that quarter-final, but for now. And we finish with Aisling Maloney being yellow carded for her 3rd challenge, or a 3rd tick, according to referee Jonathan Murphy. So disappointment for Aisling Maloney, yellow carded. So both teams will finish the game with 14 players following Maloney's yellow card, and that's just about sums up the day, unfortunately. Frustration for Tipperary. Scoreline doesn't lie, 8-11 to 2-3, but this is a very, very talented football team, just below the top rung of the senior teams capable of winning All-Irelands, but they'll be hugely disappointed obviously with the concession of all those goals today. And it's time to regroup, it's time to look ahead to next season again already for them. But for Cork, real bonus territory now as they finish out the final few minutes of injury time, having kicked 8 goals and 11 points today. Superb performance from start to finish for Shane Ronayne's side. A lot to look forward to in the quarterfinals, but remember, they'll be on the road against one of the group winners who've come through the quarterfinals. So no matter what Cork do today in that draw, they will be away from home, and it'll be interesting to see, intriguing to see how those quarterfinals line up. But going on the scoring that they've produced today, Cork really, really impressive from start to finish. Disappointment, as we said, a couple of injuries that we'll have to find out more about. And as well as that, the loss of Ciara O'Sullivan to that straight red card, we assume, from referee Jonathan Murphy. I'm sure Shane Ronayne will have plenty to say about that after the game, but it should not overshadow what's been a commanding, dominant Cork performance. 5 goals, as we said. We keep talking about those 5 goals in the first 15 minutes because that's really what made the difference in the end. The game was over as a contest, albeit at half-time. Credit to Tip, who got a couple of goals from Ashton Maloney to come back into it. But this game, this performance, and today belongs to the Cork senior footballers. They certainly needed it heading into the quarterfinals. A dominant display that they'll hope to back up in the last 8 away from home and continue their championship odyssey. Final few minutes here now of injury time. Cork patiently working the ball way out wide in the right wing to where O'Donovan Rossa, half-back, Laura O'Mahony, who's had a really good showing as well today, and it's good for her. She's back into the starting team and backed it up with a good performance. And Cork just going through the motions. We're now into our 4th minute of injury time, nearing our 5th minute of injury time. As Maura O'Callaghan lets that ball go over her head. Emma Morrissey charging down to try and grab her. Fouls her, unfortunately, and that's just pure frustration from Morrissey. Hard to blame her. She's had a really, really good showing in midfield today for Tip. But when you're on the receiving end of an 8-11 to 2-3 result, it's understandable that frustration set in at this late stage. Cork once again keeping possession of the ball, and referee Jonathan Murphy going back here for a grab on the jersey. As we finish out the final moments here in front of a huge attendance at Clonakilty and West Cork, fantastic to see a second big game coming to the region. Proof positive that the Clonakilty GA and LGFA club can host these events, and they've certainly done it once again today. Darren O'Sullivan lining up this free. She might attempt a point. The Mourne player does and nails it as only Darren can. Darren O'Sullivan with a free to make it 8-12, the emphatic finish from the Cork full forward. Fantastic effort from her. She's had another good outing as well for Cork. And there we have it. It's all over here in Clonakilty and West Cork. Cork have hammered Tipperary 8-12 to 2-3. A 5-goal blitz in the opening 15 minutes proved the difference. Hannah Looney had a fantastic game in midfield for Cork. She weighed in with a fantastic goal and got through a huge amount of possession. Breed O'Sullivan came off the bench as well, the Cork midfielder. She added a goal herself. Fantastic performance by her, but no doubting the outcome on this one, as you can see from the full-time score, as emphatic as it sounds. Cork 8-12, Tipperary 2-3, as Cork will go through to the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship quarter-finals. Tipperary's season is over for another season. I'm Ger McCarthy, your commentator. Thank you for joining us today on the live stream here on the LGFA, and well done to Cork, and commiserations to Tipperary. The big danger player, she lets it inside to number 8, Emma Morrissey. Morrissey takes a shot, and there's the opening score. I'm going to line this one up now and see, and she's gone short instead. The ball is fed inside, and it comes back to her again from Ciara O'Sullivan. Darren with a tight angle. Oh, comes back off the post, and it's a goal. Emer Kiley from Valley Rovers move the ball and their opposing defence wide if they can. Emer Kiley's back on it just a couple of seconds after her goal. She releases the ball here now, and it looks like Maura Callaghan's coming in from the side, and a shot and a goal. It's our second goal within 2 minutes. Emer Kiley's back on it just a couple of seconds after her goal. She releases the ball here now, and it looks like Maura Callaghan's coming in from the side, and a shot and a goal. It's our second goal within 2 minutes. Maura O'Callaghan evades a second one. Has she gone too far? She attempts a shot. It's up, it's high, and it is over the bar. Inside to her sister and Mourne-Abbey teammate Darren O'Sullivan. Back into Ciara. Ciara's got one thing in her mind, and she puts it over the bar. Darren O'Sullivan to line up this free right in front of goal, and a chance to extend her team's advantage. Orlacan looks for a shot and actually takes it short. Tip went to sleep. Cahalane, goal! Oh dear, and Tipperary on to Maura O'Callaghan, and Tipperary now trying to reset, trying to get numbers behind the ball and just stem this constant stream of Cork attacks. A good 1-2 between Darren O'Sullivan and Anna Ryan. Well, this is now getting English. Yardman turns back inside, the ball is worked across to centre-back Laura Morrissey. She in turn finds Emma Morrissey from Aherlow, and the Aherlow player brilliantly. Fantastic season as well. Dodges past 2 defenders, finds Emma Cleary, another opening for Cork. It's Hannah Looney, and Looney makes no mistake. Hannah Looney, who's finding acres of space, immediately releases the ball. It's worked inside to Abigail Ring, who's going to take a shot, and that one has gone over the bar from the Cork substitute. Outclassed in that first quarter of an hour, but an opportunity here for Aisling Maloney to get her name on the scoreboard after 26 minutes, and she does. Hannah Looney going to do, she cuts inside a defender. Is she going to fist it over the bar? She is. Hannah Looney, superb finish there from Looney, fisting it. Looks like she's thinking about a goal. Takes a couple of steps back, a couple of solos. Very, very difficult afternoon for Maloney, who played so well. And she takes a shot, and it's brilliantly blocked by Marine. The rebound, brilliantly blocked. Oh, and the rebound has gone over the net. Cork. And the ball is up, it's high, and it's over the bar. Cork, so with a right channel to find Dara Kiley, who jinks inside a defender, takes a look with a right foot shot, and that is a sweet effort. Dara Kiley's free. Finds Orla Cahalan, back to O'Sullivan, one thing on her mind. Oh, what a shot, brilliant save. Tipped over by Lawrence after 37 minutes. So the referee adjudging that foul to have been serious enough to put them off, and now the Cork supporters are getting behind their teams. Aisling Maloney lines up the close range free and scores a goal. A rocket into the back of the net. Callan break a tackle. She finds Abigail Ring, who in turn finds Hannah Looney. A looping kick from the dual player over the bar, and that's exactly a huge amount of work in the second half, more than she probably would have expected. To Maura Callan, the Cork captain, bursting through the middle, sees a gap. What's she going to do? She could leave it inside. She certainly does. Anna Ryan, goal! Anna Ryan's second goal of the afternoon. And not in any rush to do so. Here's number 7, and that is a super effort from Laura O'Mahony. Cork quickly worked the ball through the hands. Hannah Looney deep in traffic. She gets the overlap she was looking for. Darren O'Sullivan fists it, and that's a goal. And a brilliant goal. Dara Kinnery with Cork's 7th goal of the afternoon. I think the quarter finalists will be Cork, and deservedly so. Dara Kiley with the 45, chipping it forward. Finding Abigail Ring, ball back inside to Breed O'Sullivan, a quick 1-2, and O'Sullivan finishes with a flourish. Fantastic to see. Point. The Mourne player does, and nails it as only Darren can. Darren O'Sullivan with a free to make it 8-12 Tipperary, 8-12 to 2-3. A 5-goal blitz in the opening 15 minutes proved the difference. Hannah Looney had a fantastic game in midfield for Cork. She weighed in with a fantastic goal and got through a huge amount of possession. Breed O'Sullivan came off the bench as well, the Cork